My name is Mary Jean Jakubowski, and I have the honor of being the Buffalo and Erie County Public Library System Director. I am so very pleased to welcome everyone to the Downtown Central Library this afternoon for the State of Erie County Address, Foundation for Our Future. On behalf of the entire library system, our staff, trustees, volunteers, and patrons, we are grateful Erie County Executive Mark Poloncarz believes in a strong and vibrant library system. Thank you, Mark, from me personally as well. Last year, Erie County residents borrowed 7.3 million items from our 37 local public libraries, and we welcomed 3.34 million visitors, and from there, more than 800,000 computer sessions were held. Libraries, as all of you know, are busy community centers. We again extend our thanks to Erie County Executive Mark Poloncarz for proposing a $1 million for improvements to this library, which is a county-owned building. Specifically, $500,000 to rehabilitate this auditorium, kind of change those orange chairs to something more modern. It includes mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. We are also grateful for the additional $500,000 he has set forth to address other issues within this building. We appreciate it and thanks so much to the members of the Erie County Legislature for approving this year's budget and for your continued support of this great library system. Thank you from all of us. At this time, I do ask that everyone please silence your cell phones. I am pleased to welcome the color guard from the Newell Faulkner American Legion Post 880 from Eden, New York, James Bliddy, Commander, along with Staff Sergeant Rafael Ramos, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Color guard, stand up. Forward, forward. Forward, forward. Right, peace. Present arms.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Post colors, forward. Forward, forwards. Right, peace. Forward, forward.
Thank you. It is now my great pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Anthony Broner from the Elam Christian Fellowship, who will now give the invocation.
Let us pray. Lord, we acknowledge your presence and your sovereignty this day, and we invite you into this atmosphere during this presentation. We desire to hear a clear and concise word from you through our county exec. We pray for the prosperity of our county and equality for everyone. We seek your guidance and direction, even in the midst of this informative event. Thank you for the opportunity to speak peace and channel your presence throughout this region. We ask all of this in your name. Let us pray and say amen.
And now let us welcome Jack Quinn Jr., President of Erie Community College.
Thank you, Mary Jane, and good evening, everybody. I am thrilled to be joining you here this evening at the Buffalo and Erie County Public Library to hear our County Executive Mark Poloncarz and his 2015 State of the County Address. Mark, as everybody knows, and I tell everyone who wants to listen, has been a strong supporter of the college. The chairman of our Board of Trustees, Stephen Boyd, is with me tonight to be here to echo that same thought, Mark. We appreciate your support. As you look across at a strong Erie Community College, we look forward to hearing your thoughts of the many other issues in your administration that's working for a betterment all of us in New York. This is an exciting time to be in Erie County. I think everybody would agree. And the arrival of the springtime weather and the long winter behind us, we see signs of hope not only in the weather, but signs of hope everywhere in this county. But that hope springs eternal from more than just an increase of sunshine and weather. It springs from a new attitude and a new enthusiasm that everybody is agreeing permeates the county in ways we've never seen before. Everywhere you look, it seems that people are on the move, that things are being built, and that our community is moving forward together. There's an undeniable sense of optimism. Thanks. You know, Mark, they all vote sooner or later. I taught 8th grade English a long time ago, and even Danny Neverth had a future when I went back to North. Excuse me and thank you. Talk about an undeniable optimism with noises like that in this auditorium. Everywhere you look around the county, positive things are happening. And I have to tell you, folks, that doesn't happen by accident. We all have that feeling that we haven't had it in a long time, that the feelings haven't been the same for a long, long time. And as I look at a lot of familiar faces in this audience tonight, you've been partners of ours, partners of Mark, as we've moved the various projects he's going to talk about this evening to fruition and beyond. We see it in projects underway all across the arena, whether it's at the Harbor Center and the Canal side to the Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus. There's structural steel already going up on the Old Republic Steel site at Riverbend, and our waterfront is finally tapping into its long sought-after promise for the future. There's also considerable reinvestment and reinvigoration happening in our county's villages and towns all across the area. For example, in my hometown of Hamburg, New York, we're seeing a very beautiful library nearing completion that'll be a magnet for learning for the young people before they get to a community college or a four-year school. Hamburg Library Director Jack Edson isn't with us tonight, but he's closely shepherded this project to near completion, and the result will be a jewel in the South Towns for everybody to enjoy. There's no denying the power and the necessity of a strong library system, as evidenced by the wonderful auditorium that we're in this evening. Elsewhere across the county and beyond, community development projects are improving the infrastructure and residents' quality of life in Lackawanna, in West Seneca, Akron, East Aurora, and almost all of our communities across the county. There are people who are pushing the projects, laying a good foundation for the future development, for jobs, for a stronger regional economy, and we're remaking the face of our region in many, many positive ways, too many for me to go into this evening, but nonetheless, undeniable that those positive things are happening. As our old Rust Belt image slips away, it's being replaced with a new high-tech image that centers on the careers of the future in health sciences and green technology, information services, engineering fields, and we're seeing the growth beyond anything we could have imagined. Thousands of positions in these cutting-edge fields are going to be on the horizon for Western New York workers as these 21st century industries take hold and grow in and around the county. It's indeed an exciting and nothing short of a transformational time for us in the county. This transformation, I'm happy to say, is also reaching into Erie Community College, where I work, and Steve Boyd helps us administer the policies. I mentioned a moment ago, Mark has been a strong partner in promoting ECC and rebuilding our programs and campuses for the future. At ECC, we are preparing a workforce that can step into the new tech-savvy science, engineering categories, nursing jobs that will be in demand. Our over 100 degree and certificate programs at our 3 conveniently located campuses get students from the classroom to the workplace with the skill sets that employers not only looking for, but they're provided for and necessary for long-term success. These are the educational, technical, and soft skills that are necessary for our young people to succeed in this 21st century environment. And with them, our students can really say what we say at ECC: you can start here and go anywhere. Also true of our county. Recent career-focused attentions and additions at the college include our nanotechnology program, meant to train for the growing industry with opportunities slated for Riverbend, the medical campus we mentioned, and across the county. Our 1- and 2-year degrees in nanotechnology and biomanufacturing, a field expected to grow by 26% by 2016, and our recently announced 1-year brewing science and technology program, which will prepare our students for positions in the area's burgeoning craft beer and other industries for our hospitality programs and beyond. All of these developments are positive and augment our already firm belief that our students won't have to go far away to find good-paying jobs, fulfilling careers that they are gearing up to right here in Western New York. Mark knows and understands better than probably all of us that our sons and daughters, our family members and friends, will be able to stay here, raise a family in Erie County, and be a part of the transformational happenings that are going on all around us. For too long, they have had to go elsewhere seeking employment, but that tide is beginning to turn. The jobs are coming here. They'll continue to come to Erie County as we and the leadership of Mark Poloncarz renews the county almost entirely. The anticipation is geared up. The stage is set. I'm happy to have a few words to say about this stuff, but the man you really want to hear from this afternoon, please welcome our county executive, Mark Poloncarz.
Thank you. Good job. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Jack. And thank you to the next generation of Erie County residents. The things we are doing today will hopefully provide the catalyst that they'll be working on in the future. But I do want to thank Jack Quinn for that gracious introduction. And Jack and I have worked for some time now on the many issues that truly matter in this community, most notably the STEM building at ECC and what was going to be construction at ECC North. I thank Jack for his vision and for his partnership on that project. Together, we are putting in place the foundation for our students to study and gain the skills they need to succeed in the career fields of today and tomorrow. I also want to thank our many federal, state, county officials, as well as leaders at the city, town, and village levels for being here tonight and for your service to the community. Thank you to Sergeant Ramos for leading us through the Pledge of Allegiance, your service to the country, and for being part of the National Guard's contingent that responded for Winter Storm Knife. I met Sergeant Ramos cleaning up Lake Avenue in Hamburg, so thank you, Sergeant Ramos. I want to also thank our color guard from the American Legion Post in Eden. Thank you for your service to the community and the continued good work that you do on behalf of the people of our community. Bishop T. Anthony Bronner from Elam Christian Fellowship Church, thank you for giving such an inspiring invocation and the tremendous work that he does on behalf of the people of our community, especially in the east side of Buffalo. And I especially want to thank Mary Jean Jakubowski and the Buffalo and Erie County Public Library Board for yet again opening your doors and being such gracious hosts in a building owned and maintained by the people of Erie County. As I said, as Mary Jean said, look around you because this room is going to be different the next time you're in it. We are investing $500,000 in this room for new seats, new carpet, modern technology, and this is just another example how we invest in today to create a stronger infrastructure for tomorrow and to create a better library system for all of our citizens. Finally, thank you to everyone who's in attendance here tonight and to those watching at home on Time Warner Cable News, Western New York Media, or the Erie County site. I appreciate you tuning in. Tonight, I'd like to speak to you not only about where we've come these past 3 years, but what lies ahead this year and beyond. When I came into office, we were following a period in which we were constantly told how dysfunctional government was and how it couldn't do anything right. For decades now, we've heard how government was the problem. But what we've shown as a community is during the past 3 years, government is not automatically the problem, it can be part of the solution. As we've seen, government, when run properly, can lay the foundation for a better future for all. Through prudent budgeting, investing in our community's well-being, and focusing on improving our region's infrastructure, we have laid the groundwork for a better, stronger Erie County. In the process, we have created a county that works for all of its residents, from a newborn, born to immigrant parents on the west side of Buffalo, to the fourth generation of family farmer nearing retirement in Marilla. Because of the foundation we have put in place, the state of Erie County is strong. Today, there are possibilities and opportunities in place that our forefathers could never have imagined, and in some ways, maybe we could not have imagined just 5 years ago. The essential building blocks for the foundation of a prosperous and dynamic Erie County are right here, and we've been cementing that foundation for the past 3 years. While we have accomplished much during these times, there is still more work to do to ensure the tremendous gains we have seen in the new Buffalo, the new Erie County, are not just enjoyed by a select few. Tonight, I will talk to you about how we in Erie County can create the community we have always dreamed it could be. A community that is more inclusive for seniors, minorities, women, the disabled, and the disadvantaged. A community that not only maintains but enhances the services our residents demand. A community that protects our quality of life while keeping taxes low and provides everyone an opportunity to succeed. However, before we discuss what is needed to take our community to the next level, we have to look back to figure out just how far we've come in a few short years. When I ran for county executive, I said the focus of my administration would be on turning around our economy and creating a bright, vibrant job market. That is what we did, and the proof of our success is in the statistics released each month by the New York State Department of Labor. When I took office in January of 2012, the county's unemployment rate was 8.9%, and there were 40,600 unemployed residents in Erie County. Following a broad effort, as of the end of 2014, I am proud to say that there are 16,500 less people on the unemployment rolls, and the rate of unemployment had dropped to 5.5%, lower than the state and national averages. Some will argue the unemployment rate is deceiving because what it really shows is people are giving up looking for work because the jobs aren't there. But that's not true. Fueled by the highest rate of private sector growth our community has seen since 2000, the Buffalo-Niagara region today has the highest average amount of jobs than at any point in the last 14 years, 553,000 in 2014, and that trend of growth continued for January of this year. We are not talking about restoring the local job market to conditions prior to the 2000 global meltdown, but to levels our region has not seen since today's college freshmen were in preschool. And contrary to what many people believe, the truth is the private sector jobs have grown while the public sector has declined. In fact, from January of 2012 to January of this year, the private sector has gained more than 14,000 jobs in the Buffalo-Niagara market, while the public sector has actually been reduced by 3,000. So the next time someone says there are no jobs, just tell them in 3 short years, more than 14,000 new private sector jobs have been created, and many, many more are on the way. Now, this trend of growth is in other areas as well. As was reported by the Buffalo News this morning, the county's population numbers are also rebounding, and for the first time in decades, Erie County is seeing continued year-to-year population growth, including a rapidly expanding immigrant population. Without a strong economy or a growing population, we cannot become the community we know we can be. Taken together, these positive growth factors are important building blocks for our future. Another block, perhaps a cornerstone, and a good example of how much has changed in just a short period of time is the difference an involved county government can make in the lives of its residents. When I took office as executive, county government did not lead on the issues that forged our community's future. Instead, it hid in the background as if it was afraid to make a difference. That had to change. Government, at its core, is a representation of its people. It should be aspirational in nature, a manifestation of our better angels, and be the captain of our communal ship, guiding all of us to a better, safer harbor. We set that course by taking Erie County government out of the shadows and back to the forefront by reassuming its leadership role in areas that affect our citizens. For example, we are leading to create a robust local economy with opportunities for all people. My administration's economic development plan, Initiatives for a Smart Economy, identified an achievable course for economic development and potential partners to collaborate with. Today, we are nurturing successes in these areas, and we expect even greater returns in the years to come. The county is leading in other areas as well, such as smart growth in the environment. We are working to turn around empty brownfields all across our county and restore them to productive use. From the Bethlehem Steel site in Lackawanna to Riverbend in South Buffalo and to multiple locations in Tonawanda, the sites of our past industrial glory are ready for the 21st century businesses of today. On issues of workplace equality, the government must lead and defend the rights of all. It has been more than 50 years since the passage of the Equal Pay Act, but shockingly, in 2015, women are paid on average 70 cents for every dollar that a man makes for similar work. The difference is even more glaring for women of color, and change is long overdue. This is as much an issue of economic development as it is fundamental fairness. That is why last year I called on the ECIDA to enact an equal pay policy, but I realized Erie County could go further to make pay equality a reality. So this past year, I signed Executive Order Number 13, requiring all private contractors to county-specific projects to sign a verification that, 1, they pay their female employees the same as males, and 2, they agree to be subject to periodic audits by the county's Equal Employment Opportunity Division to confirm they are, in fact, following the law. I ask the members of the Erie County Commission on the Status of Women to stand so we may thank you all for the work that they do every day to support women's issues, whether it be equal pay or eliminating the scourge that is domestic violence. Please stand so we may congratulate them. As they know, 50 years is much too long to see a law truly be enforced. And because of their work, the next generation of women will not have to wait another 50 years for equality. Thank you. The county is leading and promoting our vibrant arts and cultural community as well. When I took office, arts and cultural funding was an annual battle. Our county government treated our world-renowned cultural institutions as if they were a burden rather than an asset. We changed that mindset right away. For starters, we implemented a steady and predictable process for cultural funding, which has helped arts organizations of all sizes thrive. Moreover, working with our partners at the Albright Knox Art Gallery in the city of Buffalo, this year we brought the beauty and the benefit of the arts right into the community. Public art collaborative projects like Tape Art, You Are Beautiful, and of course Canal Side's favorite resident Shark Girl, have created a community-wide discussion and an appreciation of art. Along with putting art kits right in our community, the distribution of 30,000 art kits to local middle school students provides them the opportunity to study the masters by literally putting great art in their hands. And I can personally attest to the joy in their eyes when they receive the kits, though I'm not certain if that guy with a beard is a teacher or not. My thanks to the Albright Knox Art Director, Dr. Yarni Seren, Public Arts Curator Aaron Ott, and City of Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown for their commitment to this community and for their vision and hard work to bring the wonders of the art world out of the gallery and right to the community. Thank you. Now, these are all examples of how, just by changing the way county government acts, we were able to lay a foundation for a stronger, more connected, more unified Erie County. Let's take a look at some of the other blocks in the foundation we've laid and what we hope to do in the future. Fiscal responsibility, the provision of essential programs and services such as the People's Mandates, providing for the community's greater good, investments in public health and safety, and wise economic development are all important bricks in Erie County's foundation, and they play a key role in our region's resurgence. Let's start with the first biggest building block, creating jobs and strengthening our economy. As I noted earlier, unemployment is down significantly in Erie County, and there's 14,000 more private sector jobs in our region than on the day I took office. While we can't take credit for all of that, we certainly can take credit for creating a business environment that is conducive to growth. The key component to the county's effort was the release in 2013 of our Initiatives for a Smart Economy agenda. Of the 64 initiatives, many are complete or nearing completion, such as redeveloping the former Bethlehem Steel site, establishing a Western New York Sustainable Business Roundtable, partnering with New York State in the creation of a regional workforce advancement center, the engineering, designing, and construction of the new North Youngman Commerce Center Park in Tonawanda, establishing an Erie County Energy Management Office, creating a smart growth fund for use by our towns and villages, and seeking additional private sector investment in our region from the Greater Toronto area. But we are not done yet. There are many more initiatives that we will move ahead with in the next year, such as assisting local villages demolish or rehabilitated blighted structures, and I'll be the first to knock down a few. Establishing a shovel-ready site for an agribusiness park to serve our growing agricultural community. Working with our partners to establish an energy conservation revolving loan program. Implementing the $12 million Rush Creek Interceptor project to create a cleaner water supply. And of course, moving forward with the design and engineering work to construct the new STEM building at ECC North. We have also re-energized the Erie County Industrial Development Agency with a sharp focus on real economic development and the wise use of incentives. Gone are the days of unquestioned tax incentives for whoever applied for them, with no accountability for them and no recourse for our taxpayers. We are demanding developers create new net economic wealth for our region in exchange for a tax break, and we will hold them accountable. If they don't create the jobs they say they will, we will recapture the tax break from them. We are also implementing new rules requiring the hiring of local labor for any business seeking an incentive for a construction project. Additionally, we created the one-stop shop for economic development at 95 Perry Street to bring all major economic development agencies under one roof. The one-stop approach is a smart way to streamline the process of creating jobs by concentrating the players in one location, making it easier for businesses to navigate our landscape and for agencies to collaborate in growth. Most importantly, it is working. Solar City is investing $3 billion to create the largest solar panel production facility in the Western Hemisphere, bringing with it more than 3,000 new high-tech jobs. My thanks go out to Governor Cuomo for his commitment to Erie County and for the Buffalo Billion Plan, which made this development possible. Clean technology is the new way in the new Erie County. Thank you, Governor Cuomo. But it is not just large companies that are an example of the region's turnaround. Small ones are part of the foundation for our future, too. And there is one in particular that is a shining example of how far our community has come in just a few short years. This past December, Bach USA opened the doors to its production facility in downtown Buffalo at Compass East, the former location of Sheehan Hospital. But Bach is unlike any other production facility in our region, or for that matter, anywhere in North America. Working with the Department of Social Services Pivot Program to employ previously unemployed individuals, and through assistance obtained from Governor Cuomo's Startup New York program, Bach manufactures affordable, high-quality computer tablets for the international market. And we're not talking about a homegrown success story here, because the owners of Bach, Ulla and JP Bach, come to Erie County via their home country of Denmark, and then Haiti, where they previously produced tablets for the international market. Think about it. Buffalo is the home of the manufacturing company owned by Danish nationals who previously built tablets in Haiti, now producing tablets in Buffalo for the world's emerging market, especially Africa. And by the way, you don't have to live in Africa to own a Bach tablet. I bought mine, and trust me, it's as good as anything else on the market. And it's the only tablet on the market that says, assembled in Buffalo, New York. Nothing else I can think of exemplifies the spirit of the new Erie County than Bach USA. Ula and J.P. Bach have joined us here this evening, and I ask for them to stand so we may all thank them for being part of our region's rebirth. From Solar City to Bach USA, investors big and small are realizing the many benefits of doing business in Erie County. But we are not done yet on the economic front. We need to continue working with our partners at the ECIDA, New York State, the Buffalo Niagara Enterprise, and other important organizations to build upon the foundation we have laid. Now is not the time to stand back and admire our accomplishment. Now is the time to roll up our sleeves further to take our economy to unforeseen heights. And Erie County government will lead in those efforts. Another key part of our foundation for the future is maintaining fiscal responsibility. Fiscal responsibility includes many things, but it truly means ensuring the services the public needs and demands are provided in the best way possible. I was elected comptroller in 2006 as the people's fiscal watchdog to guard the public's piggy bank. While I may have changed jobs, my resolve to protect the people's money has not dimmed one bit. As county executive, I've continued to scrutinize the county's bottom line as we build a better county. For example, my administration has passed 3 on-time budgets without the theater and drama that residents had grown accustomed to in prior years. By maintaining open lines of communication with other elected officials and especially our legislature, we have produced budgets with no surprises, just good, sound fiscal practices that are sensible and appropriate. In fact, this past year, working together, the county's budget included a modest tax decrease, and I thank the legislature for working with me to make that happen. Gone are the doomsday predictions, the threats and overinflated rhetoric that were so prevalent in the past. They've been replaced by dialogue and compromise in order to complete the people's business, and the results are evident. To underscore the point, who can tell me the last time the control board was needed in the county's budget process? Heck, when was the last time anyone ever heard about the control board? Well, folks, they're still around and they're in advisory status. I thank the members of the control board for their service to this community and for their support of my budgets. They are making a difference, as we all are. Thank you. As our budgets have stabilized and we've gotten back on our feet, our fiscal reputation has been steadily improving with the rating agencies as well. When I took office as comptroller, Erie County's credit rating was 1 notch above junk bond status. We had the worst credit rating of any municipality, not just in New York, but in the entire Northeast. After 9 years of hard work by many, this past September, Standard & Poor's gave Erie County an unprecedented 3-step rating upgrade to AA-. This new rating for Erie County is the highest rating the county has ever received from S&P and takes the county's credit rating for any rating agency to its highest level in more than a decade. Folks, I think that deserves a round of applause. Fiscal responsibility also means negotiating fair contracts with the public sector unions representing Erie County's workforce. When I took office of January 2012, contracts had lapsed with 7 out of 8 of the public sector unions, affecting thousands of workers and their families. It was an unsustainable situation that should have never been allowed to develop, but ignoring it and not negotiating was not an option. Instead, as in other areas, my administration started a dialogue, which developed into negotiations, which developed into contract settlements with all direct county bargaining units within the first 3 years of my administration. As a result, Fair and reasonable contracts are now in place with employees. These contracts will save the people of Erie County at least $136 million in the long run in future retiree health care costs. Let me repeat that. These contracts will save more than $136 million in the long run. I thank the members of our bargaining units for negotiating in good faith and ratifying contracts that are in the best interest of everyone, our employees and all of our bosses, the people of Erie County. Thank you. However, we're not done yet, because contracts still need to be settled with units at ECC, and others will soon expire. As before, we will work to resolve these matters in an amicable manner, treating our employees with respect while ensuring the continued fiscal stewardship of our county. More than anything, fiscal responsibility entails a close scrutiny on all public expense and a necessary justification for spending the public's money. There has been a debate in this community on whether a new football stadium is needed for the Bills. Talk to 10 different people, you're going to get 10 different answers. What is not in debate is essential social services, programs for seniors and children, investment in our libraries, parks, and roads must never be sacrificed at the altar of a new football stadium or any other large pie-in-the-sky project. I take the responsibility of representing the people of Erie County very seriously. All elected officials are charged with protecting the interests of their constituents and providing them when and where possible. And those interests must always come first in any discussion about the allocation of public funds. If we continue to follow these principles, we will build upon the strong foundation we have laid, ensuring the continued growth of our community. Another important set of building blocks are the people's mandates. These are the programs and the services that residents demand but the private sector either can't or won't provide. Investing in our libraries, parks, roads, and public health programs are essential building blocks that add to our quality of life. Working together, we have shown that government can efficiently provide the services that residents expect and demand. For example, funding for libraries, always a political football in the years prior to my administration, has not just steadied, but actually grown. I made a promise to the community that I would not cut library funding, but find a way to make it grow, and I have kept that promise. I thank my partners in the legislature for working with me as we invest in our libraries, which in turn is an investment in the future of our community. Thank you. When it comes to investing in our community, there truly is only one area that has a direct impact on the foundation of our region. It's our infrastructure and our roads. As we know, Erie County's harsh winters, such as the latest one, and today, take a harsh toll on all of our roads. But we cannot back away from the responsibility to repair Mother Nature's effects to the best extent we can. My administration has spent over $60 million in the past 2 years alone to improve and repair our roads and bridges, surpassing the expenditures of previous administrations and underscoring my commitment to providing residents with the best roads possible. Furthermore, we are putting together some of the final pieces in a plan now to invest more than $25 million in 2015 on additional road work. And this year, we are implementing a new program to address our roads. With more lane miles of roads than the state of Delaware, Rhode Island, and Hawaii each have, Erie County has an extensive inventory that includes heavily traveled roads as well as quiet residential streets. Many of these roads should not be the responsibility of Erie County and should be turned back to the towns. As such, my administration has created a special $1 million fund to repair roads presently in the county's inventory if the corresponding municipality agrees to take over ownership of the road after the work is complete. This fund will be available annually on a first-come, first-served basis, and trust me, it is already spurring interest. It is another example of how working together as a region, we can create a better tomorrow. Now, maintaining roads is not just good for drivers, but for the future of our community. When we ignore our degrading infrastructure, we weaken our community's foundation. That is why my administration will continue to lead the effort to ensure our infrastructure keeps up with the great growth we are experiencing today. Another important part of the people's mandates and a key asset of our greater community is our park system. Erie County's park system offers 10,000 acres to enjoy. Since 2012, more than $5.6 million has been spent on capital improvement in our parks, and an additional $4 million will be spent in 2015. Why do we do this? We hold our parks in a public trust for future generations. We must protect them. At Chestnut Ridge, Como, Ellicott Creek, Emory, and many other parks, visitors are enjoying improved shelters, new tennis courts, restored facilities, smoother roads and parking lots, and many other amenities. Let me give you an example of one. Last year at Chestnut Ridge, working with our Department of Environment and Planning Geographic Information System, the Parks Department was able to create a new park map using the latest GPS technology. So we all know that when we take the hike to the Eternal Flame Trail, it is exactly 0.56 miles from start to finish. And this year, we'll be completing a similar map for Emory Park, and eventually we'll be doing the same for all of our parks. At Alma Meadows, we will begin a project long needed, the replacement of the watering system at the golf course. The current system is the original system from the 1950s, requires tremendous manual labor to run, and wastes millions of gallons of water. By installing a modern system, we will not only save countless man-hours of labor, which can be put to much more productive use in other parts of the park, but our environment will be saved in the process by more efficiently using our water supply. And the golfers will see a much more improved course, though I can't guarantee it's going to do a difference for their scores. Now, investing in our parks builds a real foundation for future generations. We must strive to leave them in better condition than when we took them, and we're doing that. While ensuring the people's mandates are a key building block for our future, providing for our health and welfare of our constituents is the keystone of all the building blocks of county government. From protecting the most vulnerable children in our county, to ensuring our senior citizens have a hot meal, to helping those who for no reason of their own may be in dire straits, county government is often the last vestige of hope in what otherwise can be an unforgiving society. Last year, I announced my administration would embark on a comprehensive effort to alleviate the systemic causes of poverty. Everyone knew this would be a difficult task, but just because a task is difficult doesn't mean it shouldn't be undertaken. Now is the time for action to give those at the lowest rung of the societal ladder the tools they need to climb higher and provide for their families. We cannot let this incredible new Erie County just benefit the select few. I know if we work together, we can lift all boats as Erie County's tide rises. That is why I tasked our Health and Human Service departments to work together and come up with a comprehensive plan to address the root causes of need, of poverty in our community. Similar to how we constructed the economic agenda, Initiatives for a Smart Economy, we took our time to come up with a workable and attainable plan to address the issues we face. This effort resulted in the recent release of our Comprehensive Health and Human Services Plan, Initiatives for a Stronger Community. Each initiative addresses just one facet, one aspect of need in our community. No one initiative can solve the issues of poverty, but taken together, they provide a strong framework, a foundation, to create a better and more just society. In all, there are 49 initiatives, and they are as diverse as educating employers about the benefits of employing disabled workers to creating a volunteer-based poverty committee to advise our health and human service departments on how to best address the needs in our community. As part of the plan, we will strengthen families by co-locating mental health and substance abuse counselors in our Child Protective Services Division to help parents cope with the stresses that often lead to child abuse. In our rural communities, we will support microenterprise opportunities to increase the number of child care facilities, as well as create more respite care opportunities for adults who are taking care of loved ones in need. I will establish a New Americans Advisory Council, which will report directly to me, so we in the county can better address the needs of our rapidly expanding immigrant population. Each of the 49 initiatives is geared to address a specific area of need. And in many areas, Erie County will lead, but we cannot act alone. We need partners in order to succeed and create the community we know we can become. And the best example of that is our partnership with the Say Yes Foundation to address the needs of school children in the city of Buffalo. Erie County is providing resources and personnel to work with our partners in the city of Buffalo, the school district, Catholic Charities, and the Say Yes Foundation to offer wraparound counseling, health, and mental health services to at-risk students. These are the same wraparound services both President Obama and Governor Cuomo recently said needed to be provided in the future to our children. Well, we don't need to wait to the future because we're creating the services now. We don't need to find the funding source to pay for them because they already exist now, because working together as a team, we are delivering them to at-risk students in the Buffalo Public Schools now. This year, we will be expanding our joint program to enter many more schools and thereby reach more students. I thank all of our partners in this endeavor for playing a key role in securing the future of our most precious resource, our children. Thank you very much. Another program we are expanding upon is a homegrown success story, our Department of Social Services Pivot program. I mentioned this earlier when I talked about the Bach USA project. For those not familiar, PIVOT stands for Placing Individuals Vital Opportunity Training. This program screens public assistance clients to match their skills to those that are needed by local employers. The program will then pay the full-time wages for the client for up to 6 months with a local business, thereby reducing the training costs for the employer. After the 6-month period, the client becomes a permanent employee, thereby taking the client off of the public assistance roles and back on the tax rolls. This program has been such a success that this past July, Sandra Newbert and Amy Dvorak of the Department of Social Services testified before Congress on its effectiveness and how it could be replicated elsewhere. Pivot started as a pilot program here with large companies, and while since 2000, more than 300 employers and more than 4,300 individuals have participated, that's just the tip of the iceberg. The next step is to offer Pivot to many more employers across the county, thereby opening up the field of potential jobs to thousands of more job seekers. And we are doing that today because now we are partnering with the Amherst Chamber of Commerce to identify additional employment opportunities for the Pivot program, including small businesses that often do not have the resources necessary to train new employees. Programs like Pivot show how the tide can rise for everyone. I asked Sandra and Amy to stand for the wonderful work that you've done to develop this program, as well as Colleen DePiro from the Amherst Chamber of Commerce for embracing this program and working with your members to take it to the next level. Thank you. A key component of any health and human service plan is ensuring the health of our community. The closing of the former Mac Gajewski Clinic in 2009 left a big hole in our community's healthcare picture. But like a phoenix rising from the ashes of the closure, that hole has been filled by a state-of-the-art facility to address a critical community need. Of course, I'm talking about the Erie County Health Mall at 1500 Broadway. Since I was joined by our partners in cutting the ribbon this past May, more than 10,000 people have walked through its doors to access the health, mental health, and dental services available there. We knew there was a need for the health mall, but the response has been so extraordinary, exceeding all of our expectations and compelling our partners to expand their staffing to meet the community's needs. After years of desolation, we are seeing a growing oasis in an area that was previously known as a healthcare desert. I want to thank all of our partners for playing a role in making this happen. And folks, you haven't seen the best yet with the health mall. Thank you very much. We know as a community, we are only as strong as our weakest members. This time, among all recent times, is a propitious one to take on the task of addressing the great need in our community. If we do not do so now, when the sun and the tides are both rising, we will never do it. Providing a strong foundation for our citizens will strengthen the entire foundation of our community. Yet there is one more piece to the puzzle, another cornerstone to the overall foundation, and that is a robust system of public health and safety. Protecting and maintaining the public's well-being is one of the most important functions of government, and one we must be constantly vigilant about. As we have seen in the past year, concerns can run from a global pandemic diseases to how the weather can cripple the region. Our constituents deserve a county government that is strong enough to respond to such threats if they should arise, and we are. For the third year in a row, Erie County's national score indicating our ability to respond to a public health emergency requiring the use of the Strategic National Drug and Antidote Stockpile has gone up from 95% in 2013 to 97% in 2014. The score had fallen to 65% in the year before I became executive. That was unacceptable. In 3 years, we have gone from failing to near perfection. Why does this matter? Because you never know when you're might just have to respond to a public health emergency, like we did early this week when we quickly responded to a potential public health crisis by opening the emergency hepatitis A clinic. My administration continues to place a strong emphasis on being ready to respond to a public health emergency, and I thank the Departments of Health and Emergency Services for being prepared and at the ready in case the call to address such a crisis needed to be made, like it was this past Friday. Thank you very much. As we have seen, crises can arise without little warning, and we need to be ready to respond immediately when tested. However, I have to admit, I just never thought we'd be tested as much as we were in the last year. Even by Erie County standards, 2014 was a busy year for storms, with 2 official blizzards, the polar vortex in January and the baby blizzard in March, followed by the unprecedented winter storm Knife in November. While every storm presents a unique set of challenges to emergency management personnel at all levels of government, nothing compared to what hit us this past November. When on Monday, November 17th, the National Weather Service's forecast changed from 2 to 3 feet of snow over 2 days in ski country to 3 to 5 inches of snow an hour in the metro region for the next 3 days, I knew we had our hands full. We sent out our trucks on the street to salt and plow the roads. We sent a staff of individuals from the Department of Emergency Services, Public Works, and Health to the Emergency Operations Center. However, nothing we did could have done beforehand could have allowed us to keep up with the onslaught that Mother Nature unleashed. If you lived in the storm zone, then I do not need to tell you what it was like. It was unprecedented, it was awe-inspiring, it was incredible. And in the end, it also revealed what is so good about our region. While Mother Nature threw what turned out to be a year's worth of storm at us in 2.5 days, we persevered because as a community, as a region, as a state, we came together for each other. Standing shoulder to shoulder with Erie County's finest in response to Winter Storm Knife were the National Guard and thousands of volunteers from all across New York State and the Northeast who helped to shovel, dig, drive, plow, lift, deliver medicine, and otherwise assist in the massive cleanup effort. And there is one story of all that best exemplifies that spirit. That is the harrowing experience had by Erie County Sheriff's Captain Jeff Hartman and about 20 of his friends. Jeff's mad right now. You see, Jeff, like many others, was stuck in traffic when the snow came down. He was stuck where Mile Strip Road meets Route 5 by the Ford plant. After being in their vehicles for hours, with their vehicles getting covered by snow, Jeff knew he had to take action. So in the driving snow, he went from car to car, getting people out of their vehicles, and formed a human chain in which they walked from the plant to a gas station more than 2 miles away in Lackawanna. As they walked, they came upon more people in their cars. They took them out of their cars, and they all were brought to safety. A long, slow walk into the teeth of a fierce winter storm. Using his training, Jeff knew people could die in their vehicles if they stayed put. He successfully brought them to safety during perilous conditions, and then he reported to the Emergency Operations Center. I asked Captain Hartman to stand so we may congratulate him for his efforts. I know what you did may very well have saved a life or two. Thank you on behalf of everyone. And I ask all members of county government here tonight who went above and beyond the call of duty to help our community during the storm to stand as well, so we may congratulate you all for your actions during a storm that none of us will soon forget. Please stand. You deserve to be appreciated. Come on. Come on. Now, following the storm, we analyzed what we did right and, truthfully, what we could have done a little bit better. So the next time a storm of similar ferocity hits this region, we will be prepared, but trust me, folks, I hope it doesn't hit for another 30 years. Tonight, we've taken stock of some of our accomplishments as a county, but also measured what remains to be done. We stand on the precipice of monumental change. In just a few short years, we have gone from decades of being in the doldrums to being the hot market in the United States. Expatriates are coming back to the new Erie County. College graduates are able to find good-paying jobs right here in Erie County rather than uprooting their dreams elsewhere. This is a good time to be in Erie County. When future generations look back on these days, they will say with envy, "Those were the good old days." That is because we are building the community we know it can be, brick by brick, starting from the strong foundation we have laid over the last few years. We have made great strides as a county, but now is not the time to rest. There are still people in need in our community. A compassionate government such as ours works to ensure their advancement at a great time of growth such as the one we are experiencing now. Indeed, with so much more work to do, we must redouble our efforts to create the community we know it can be. Let us go forth from here, knowing that the future of our community, of Erie County, lies in our hands. Brick by brick, we will not finish the work until we build inclusively on our past accomplishments to create the successes of tomorrow. Folks, let's get busy building. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.